How's it going, guys? Rob here from Movie Review Time. Welcome back to another list video. This is going to be a response to Horrific Nightmares JM and The Horror Man. They did their top 20 zombie films, which is the start of a new segment that they're doing. So I thought I would do a response and list my top 20 zombie films. There's a catch, though. You cannot use more than one movie in a franchise. So if you pick the Romero zombie films, you can only pick one. If you pick the Resident Evil films, you can only pick one out of the franchise. That's a little bit of a challenge, but luckily for me, I own a ton of zombie films, whether it's mainstream or independent, horror. So, a little bit of a challenge, but not too bad. Yeah, but basically, they go through their collection and pick out their favorites, and that's what I did here. So, a lot of these you probably have never even heard of, but these I would say are recommendations if you've never seen them. Alright, let's get started here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about each one because I do have a lot to go through here. Coming in at number 20 is Plague. Now, this is a Australian indie horror film by Screen Media. Very, very good one. I really like the effects. The effects in this movie are top-notch. They are great. If you read what it says here, it says, Australia does The Walking Dead. Gripping psychological thriller. Offers up healthy slabs of scares. The thing is, yeah, I would call this a horror film and not a thriller, even though there are some thrilling moments. But, yeah, I got this at my local Dollar General for $1. So, really, really awesome. I brought it home, watched it, really enjoyed it. So, that is the first one I'm going to mention, which comes in at number 20, is Plague. Coming in at number 19 is Disaster L.A. The last zombie apocalypse begins here. This kind of reminded me of Night of the Comet, because it basically, you have a meteor that hits, and then people start getting ill, and then, reanimating and zombies. So it kind of takes it a little bit farther than Night of the Comet, because in Night of the Comet you don't see that many zombies. There's like only a few people. The rest of the people turn to dust. But this one's pretty good. A lot of cool stuff happens. Again, I got this at my local Dollar General for $1. They also had the DVD, but I went ahead and picked up the Blu-ray. Better quality for the same price. Coming in at number 18 is Feral. Feral stars Scout Taylor Compton, who was in the Rob Zombie Halloween remakes. Though I didn't really care for her in those films, I really liked her in this one. This is also a Scream Factory release, IFC. Very, very good. There's a camping trip that goes wrong, and well, I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but yeah, I definitely recommend this one. Tried to find the Blu-ray, but I couldn't find it, so. Alright, see, that was 20, that was 18. Coming in at number 17 is VHS 2. Now, the whole movie is not a zombie film. There's actually a pretty long segment, because that's what these movies are, as anthology films, and there's a segment of zombies that happens where it's like the first person view of a zombie, like you're viewing what the zombie does, and I thought that was a really cool idea. It's probably my favorite segment out of the 4 segments. There's a cult, there's aliens, there's a guy who sees ghosts. The zombie one is my favorite. The effects are great, and yeah, this is a lot better than the first VHS in my opinion, and it's a lot better than the third movie too. But yeah. All right. Coming in at number 16 here is Zombie Holocaust. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but I do remember liking it a lot. I know there's a lot of blood and gore in this one. It says hardcore spaghetti splatter with extra meat sauce. That's a really good one. Zombie Holocaust. Number 15 is Outpost, Black Sun. This has to do with a bunch of military Nazi zombies, troopers. Some pretty solid action in this one, but again, I got this one at Dollar General for $1. Yeah, you got special forces units wage war on military and a massive army of Nazi zombies, and they try to fight their way behind enemy lines. Pretty awesome. Sort of reminds me of Dead Snow, although Dead Snow was a completely different movie, but you also had, in that movie, Nazi zombie kind of things. So number 14 is a Wild Eye title that I really enjoyed, and that is Dead House. Yeah, Wild Eye kind of, sometimes it's kind of hit or miss. Wild Eye kind of has some really ridiculous titles, but then they have some that really blew me away, and this is definitely one of them. I really, really enjoyed this. It's kind of like a home invasion film / zombie movie. And I think all the actors and actresses did a marvelous job in this, and I love the effects. As you can see right there, just awesome effects. Really good movie. It's probably one of my favorite Wild Eye titles out there. So alright, so we're on to number 13, I believe, and that is It Stains the Sands Red. This is sort of a different zombie flick. It only deals with one zombie that follows this girl around. This girl from Las Vegas, she finds herself stranded in the desert, and then there's this zombie that's always on her tail. Really, really interesting. Again, good effects. I like the zombie makeup, and yeah, it's kind of original in its own way. So definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have Wicked Little Things, which is part of the 8 Films to Die For After Dark Horror Fest, about these kids who die in a mine, and these people move in nearby, and these kids come out at night, and they're basically zombie kids, but they don't like, it's a different kind of zombies. This is still listed as a zombie film. They don't eat people. Like, they basically kill them with weapons, which is interesting. I mean, they are dead, but they were buried alive, and Yeah, there's a shot of them right there. It's very interesting. I don't know. Like, I like the kids aspect to it. I like the story around the whole mine thing. Very good. Definitely, if you have a chance to see this, definitely check it out. Next up, of course, is Dead Alive, probably the goriest film ever. I've seen some gory films in my day, but this one, I still think this one holds, you know, the trophy. Because it's just nonstop. It is just nonstop gore. And the effects are so good. They are so amazingly done in this movie. But yeah, Peter Jackson, of course, awesome. Now, next up is Resident Evil Vendetta. Now, this is a full-length feature CGI film, and it's one of the best. I like this one better than any of the Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich, the live-action movies, and I like this more than any of the CGI movies. This one is just awesome. You have Rebecca Chambers, who's an original character from the game. You got Leon Kennedy, and you got Chris Redfield, who's original from the game. There's some awesome action. There's some awesome blood and gore effects and zombies. You got the zombie dogs chasing after Leon. And then there's this main guy who turns into this creature who also reminds me of the Tyrant a little bit. But this movie blew me away. It's awesome. If you have not seen this, definitely check it out. I'm kind of tired of the Resident Evil movies. I hope they get rebooted because I really cannot stand them. But if I had a choice to watch a Resident Evil movie, I'd watch this. So if you haven't seen this, this is my recommendation to you. Next up is, of course, Night of the Creeps. This is the Blu-ray director's cut. The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. That's the bad news? Yeah. I don't think I really need to talk about this movie. What more can be said about this classic right here? Had to mention it. Next up, Lucio Fulci, Zombie, of course. This is the Blue Underground 2-disc Ultimate Edition. What more do I need to say about this that hasn't already been said? Awesome effects. Awesome story. Yeah, really enjoy this one a lot. I know there's like a 3-disc edition. I don't have that one. Alright, getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Number 7 here is Overlord. Now, I've seen this listed in others' videos, and I never thought of this, but I never really considered this a zombie flick because they're not really zombies in this movie. They're more like mutants, like mutated from that sludge stuff. So I guess they have zombie characteristics, I guess if that's what you want to say. But I'm going to go ahead and list it because I did enjoy it, and it is, kind of in that genre, so to say. So, Overlord, awesome. Next up is Quarantine 2 Terminal. Now, I picked this over the first Quarantine because I believe it's a better movie. The first Quarantine was too damn dark. You couldn't see what was going on. The camera was moving all around because it's like found footage style. And I don't like that combination. It's a bad combination. I can't see what the hell's going on. In this movie, you can see everything. I love, they're like in an airplane terminal and the camera's smooth. It's like a regular movie. I think it's way better than the first Quarantine. So this is the one that I'm picking, and it's definitely, you know, it's a independent horror film. It's a straight to DVD release, but I think it's a damn good one. I think it's one that people don't, you know, even know about or haven't seen. So I definitely recommend Quarantine 2. Coming in at number 5, we're up to our top 5 now. And of course, it is Night of the Comet. You know, comet hits and some people turn to dust, some turn to zombies. Like I said, you don't really get to see a lot of zombies. I mean, you get to see him. But, yeah, you don't get to see a lot of that stuff. But, classic movie. In ways, it's kind of a slow burn film. Number 4, Return of the Living Dead 3. I love this movie. It's like a zombie love story in a way. But in my opinion, this is the goriest out of all the Return of the Living Dead movies. This is the goriest one. I like the story. You know, Mindy Clark, she gets killed riding on a motorcycle, and her boyfriend takes her to the trioxin plant, brings her back to life, but he notices that she starts to need to feed on brains. And to make the pain go away, because it hurts to be dead, to make the pain go away to where she doesn't have the hunger, she starts to stick herself with needles and glass and all different kinds of things until she turns out to be that. Very interesting. I love this movie. Ever since I first saw it on VHS, I always wish that they would have a really good version, and Vestron released this, and I couldn't be more happier. I love the first 3 Return of the Living Deads. I don't really care for those other ones, the Rave to the Grave and Necropolis, but yeah, this one's definitely awesome. Number 3 is 28 Days Later. Even though most people don't consider this a zombie flick, they do have zombie characteristics. They are infected. They do claw at you. They do bite you. They do eat you. So they are a different form of zombie. So yeah, they're in the same kind of genre. This is an amazing film. I love the whole third act, how it kind of turns on the characters. Like I love that whole part there. Cillian Murphy, you know, Danny Boyle did an amazing job. It does have some throwbacks to Dawn of the Dead when they go into that grocery store and they start, you know, getting all the food, putting it in the cart and stuff like that, kind of reminiscent of what they did in Dawn of the Dead. Really, really awesome. I love this movie. Coming in at number 2 is Train to Busan. Fantastic. This blew me away. The whole train sequences where they have to save the passengers and get through the zombies in one car to get to the other car. You know, the guy and his daughter, he's trying to protect his daughter at the same time. It's chaotic. The whole movie's chaotic. Then you have that asshole who tries to get, you know, everybody in trouble. He only cares for himself. And at the ending, you know, the end of this movie with that guy, I was just like, thank God, you know, like what happens to him. But anyway, I know that they're making another one, and I cannot wait. Yeah, this movie's awesome. So, my number 1 should be no surprise if you know me. Dawn of the Dead. The original Dawn of the Dead is hands down my favorite, and I think it's the greatest zombie film of all time. It's a long movie, but I mean, to me, it's very well paced. You got the epidemic that has happened. You got these survivors trying to make their way. They come in, you know, they see the mall. They go into the mall. They make the mall their home, shut it down, kill everything inside, block the doors, and they try to live there until looters show up and ruin everything. I just am at loss for words how good this movie is. It is so well done. The characters, the dialogue, the story, the zombie effects, the gore effects, everything. Fantastic. So, that's my list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely feel free to do a response, and I'll see you guys in the next one.